Today we're taking a look at this lens from TTartisan. It's a 7.5mm fisheye lens made for RF mount cameras, and specifically APS-C RF mount cameras. As I mentioned in my Canon R7 review, there aren't many APS-C RF mount lenses available right now. It's great to have these lenses that are made for APS-C because then you're using the area that these lenses are meant to be used with, unlike using full frame lenses on these crop sensor cameras. Now, this lens isn't really that expensive. You can buy it on Amazon, and it's also a specialty lens, so you're not going to be using it in all situations, especially with the amount of distortion that's there. I think that this lens is going to be really useful for anyone doing time lapses or anyone shooting action sports such as skateboarding. I think this lens will be a huge hit with anyone doing skateboard videography, photography, just because of the kind of images you will get with this lens. Another really cool feature of this lens is you may notice this threaded circle back here, which is actually made for this little ND filter. They give you an ND 1000 that screws right into the back of this lens. It's great that they gave you the ability to put the ND like you see here. As you see from the front here, there really is no threading to use a screw-on ND filter. You can screw on an ND filter to the cap. As you see right here, you can use the front cap to use filters, but you're going to get vignetting even on an APS-C camera, so that isn't really a proper solution. So it's cool that TTartisan gives you the ability to use ND filters with the back of this lens. Now, I'd say the ND they give you is an ND 1000. In some of the marketing materials, they market an ND 64 as well, and I guess they stopped doing that. I would ask them, if you're not going to include that, sell it on the side, because ND 1000 is really too strong for video. It's really great for doing time lapses or long exposure video photography, but for normal video, ND 1000 is a lot, and I think ND 64 makes a lot of sense because this lens is f2. It opens up pretty wide for a wide angle lens. So we're going to take a look at what the footage from this lens looks like on the RED Komodo and also the R7. Now, I would say that this lens is really made more for a camera like the R7 because of its APS-C crop. Now, I know a lot of people are like, well, APS-C is Super 35, and Super 35 is kind of a variable term. On the RED Komodo, its crop is actually a 1.33 times of full frame, unlike the Canon R7, which is actually a 1.6 times crop of full frame. So this lens definitely works better on the R7, and you'll see why. It really just has to do with vignetting, but I'm very surprised how well this lens performs. So let's take a look at the footage. It's interesting when you take a look at the footage that no matter whether you're wide open or all the way stopped down, the footage is pretty similar throughout. It doesn't seem like there's that many f-stops that are better than another, at least when using on the R7. Now, when using on the RED Komodo, it really only seems to make sense to shoot wide open or at f2.8, just because once you stop down past really f2, you get more vignetting every stop you stop down. Now, again, the Red Komodo is a 1.33 crop of full frame, not a 1.6, so it's not the APS-C that this lens is meant for, but it's cool to see that you can use this with the Red Komodo and get really great results shooting full sensor at 6K. Now, of course, if you shoot at 5K on the Red Komodo, that is pretty much an APS-C crop, then you won't get any of the vignetting issues that this lens has. Overall, this fisheye lens from TTArtisan is really great for the money and definitely recommend it if you're looking for a fisheye lens. Just remember that it is really a specialty effect. You're not going to be using it in all photography, all videography. So as long as you know that, I think for the money, this is a great option. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. If you got knowledge and value out of today's video, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to keep up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Until next time, my name is Geoff Fagien. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video.